Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and what we have for you today is our review of the Sony X85J TV. This TV is at a very interesting position. Now the one that we have with us for review is the 85-inch variant of this TV, but this TV is also available in 55 and 65-inch screen sizes. So why is it so interesting? Because if you've seen our review, we reviewed the Sony X80J some time ago, and we've also reviewed Sony's X90J as well. And this model, as the number suggests, is the X85J, and it falls right in between these two with its features as well as its performance, which not only gives you more options to choose from, but actually might make your buying decision a lot easier based on what you're looking for. So if you are confused whether you should go for the X80J, X90J or the X85J, well, this review should help answer a lot of your questions. And if you like our reviews, you may want to hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon so you are notified when we upload a new video. So let's quickly get started with the most important thing, which is the display panel and its picture performance. Now this TV, like I said, is available in 3 screen sizes, but the one we have for review is the behemoth 85-inch variant, and it has an MOP of 5 lakh rupees. But let's keep the price aside for right now and just delve into the performance. It has a VA panel, it has direct backlighting, and it does not have any dimming zones. It has frame dimming. So just like the X80J, it kind of tries to dim the frame or to dim certain parts of the screen for, dark screen performance, and we're going to get to that in a second. Unlike the X90J, which has full array backlighting with local dimming zones. So first of all, the peak brightness of this TV is a lot higher than what we saw on the X80J, coming in closer to 500 to 550 nits of peak brightness. The X80J was in the ballpark of a little over 400, around 400, and the X90J could touch up to 700. In that ballpark is where the X90J was for its peak brightness. So this should give you a clear indication of where the X85J lies. Closer to the 550 mark, we could see sustained brightness closer to the 400 nits mark as well. So it is brighter than the X80J, but not as bright as the X90J, to put things into perspective. Coming to the color gamut, of course, as you can see from our Calman tests, we did run a bunch of different profiles on it. We stuck to the cinema profile, which was closest to the most accurate that we thought, and we got a average delta error of about 10, which might be slightly high, but then again, this is without any calibration. This is just the preset out of the box, and like we'll tell you, with our real world performance, this shouldn't be something that should bother you, simply because in real world use, this TV is better than the X80J when it comes to real world performance, but in the same way in a lot of ways. Now let me explain that. Starting with Dolby Vision content, which is available on Netflix. We saw shows like Our Planet, Altered Carbon, and a few more. Now Altered Carbon, we can't show you the footage for copyright reasons, but the warehouse fight sequence that we usually use to check out its performance, there was good details in the dark areas, and the bright highlights in those fight sequences were nice as well. Coming to Our Planet, from the bird coming into the sun to take nectar from the tree, all the way up to the fishes in the water, there are a lot of good highlights. Even the day-night cycle, it just has a very rich, bright color palette, and that comes across very well when we were consuming content on this TV. Same goes for HDR10 content when we are consuming content on Amazon Prime Video. Coming back to the Dolby Vision content, like I've always said, just leave it on Dolby Vision bright and you should really enjoy the content on this display. Coming to HDR10 content on Amazon Prime Video, we have shows like Jack Ryan, which the sequence that we use is in a slightly dimmer area. It's darkly lit, so you can really see the low light performance of the TV, and we've seen a lot of budget TVs struggle out here, but this TV gets the job done well when it comes to the details in these sequences. Coming to the Grand Tour, again, you have these cars running around the desert, and this sequence is also really enjoyable, and even though it's in HDR10, we preferred keeping it in the standard preset. The same is said for SDR content. We saw shows like Young Sheldon, Spider-Man Homecoming, Mission Impossible, and the standard preset really seemed to give a good color reproduction overall for what we were consuming. Yes, switching over to the cinema preset did add the warm tone to it, and I would recommend you go into the settings and switch the auto backlight off and put, just let it be as bright as it can be, because it gives you a better punch. Even for SDR content, maybe in a dark room it might get too bright, but for a well-lit room, you just might want to put off the auto backlight for the TV, so you get a nice bright picture. The cinema preset has the warm tones to it, but it is the standard preset that I kept reverting back to because it just had more punchy colors to it for some reason, despite having a slightly cooler color temperature. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you really want the actual cinematic experience, you might want to switch to cinema. And of course, this goes back to the poll we put out some time ago asking you guys what preset you use on your TVs, and majority of you said standard, and it just makes sense that Sony would put in the effort to make the standard preset the one that actually looks best across a variety of categories, and for the enthusiast in you, you can always go back and change it. Now moving over to gaming. Now this is another place where we enjoyed this TV, and it has some advantages over the X80J because it has two HDMI 2.1 ports with 4K at 120 Hz. So this TV has a 120 Hz panel, and just like the X90J, it comes with two ports for HDMI 2.1 connectivity, which is not there on the X80J. That has only eARC, and it has a panel refresh rate of 60 Hz. So the advantage that you get with the X85J is using the HDMI 2.1 ports. When we connected our PS5, you can see that we got RGB HDR instead of the YUV 422 that we got on the X80J, for example. And the colors when you play games on this TV was just an absolute treat. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which is a beautiful game in HDR. Of course, the sequence that we captured right now, the weather changed to a little bit of rain and gloom, but when we were playing this game for some time on this TV, we did have those bright areas where you can ride the horse into the sun and have a few battles, and it was just a treat. Another game with really good HDR, which we're showing you right now, is Spider-Man Miles Morales, where if you're swinging towards the sun, you get this beautiful soft HDR implementation of the picture, and it's just a treat to see the details in this game, especially when you're fighting with the dark in Spider-Man's suit to the vibrant colors that happen when you take on some of the enemies in this game. This TV is just a lot of fun to play games on. Dirt 5, another great example of an HDR game. We put the game's HDR settings to its default settings, and you can feel the punchy sun come into the racetrack while we were enjoying the race. And same of course for Ratchet and Clank, another game which has a lot of vibrant colors, and the television recognized the PS5. It put the TV in game mode on its own, and this may not happen if you have an Xbox. We have noticed this sometimes on some Sony TVs, but it recognized the PlayStation 5 and switched to the game mode automatically. The only thing we would recommend is you go into the settings and switch on the enhanced mode for the HDMI port like 3 and 4, which support 4K at 120 Hz, so you can get RGB HDR when you're consuming content from an external source. So that's about the picture quality. Now we are going to talk about the comparison with the other two TVs in Sony's portfolio, but before that, let's get sound out of the way. This TV has 20 watts of sound output, and the sound output, put simply, is good. I would recommend going into the settings and calibrating the sound settings. It has a mode where you can hold the remote control to your chest level, and it will use the TV will make some sound to calibrate the sound as per your room. I really didn't notice much of a difference pre and post calibration, but what I can tell you is when you go into the settings and switch on something like surround mode through the sound settings, you do get slightly better channel separation. So Ready Player One, another piece of content that we use to judge the sound output of a TV, the race at the 12-minute mark where you have cars and bikes whizzing across the screen, you can hear some very good channel separation. The vocals are also clear, even for all the other content that we have used to test this TV. The vocals are clear, the background score is audible. Yes, the TV lacks a little bit of bass, but honestly, I didn't miss it because I saw the entire season of Sweet Tooth on this TV, and I absolutely enjoyed all of it, and I did consume a considerable amount of content on this TV, and I really didn't miss a soundbar. I missed the punch in some sequences, but it was overall okay. So unless you're building a home theater with a soundbar or a dedicated home theater setup, you can be okay with these TV speakers if you're just going to use it for regular TV viewing, maybe some occasional gaming and some movies here and there. So let's come to the most important question of whether you should buy this TV or not, and that's not a very easy answer to give, especially considering what Sony has on offer with the X80J, 85J and the X90J. So I'm gonna refer to my laptop here and tell you the screen sizes that are available. Starting with the X80J, you get it in 43, 50, 55, 65 and 75 in screen sizes. So the X80J is available across a wide array of screen sizes. You are seeing the MOPs on your screen right now as well. So there are chances you can get this TV cheaper during the festive sales. The X85J, however, is available in only 3 screen sizes, 55, 65 and 85 inches, and the 85 inch we have here is at a whopping 5 lakh rupees. And the X90J, of course, is available in 55, 65 and 75 inches. So just for price comparison of the MOP right now, the 55-inch X80J is under a lakh, it's 95,000 rupees. The 55-inch X85J is just under 1,20,000 rupees, and the 55-inch of the X90J is for 1,50,000 rupees right now. And honestly, if 55 inches or 65 inches is what you're going for, you can see the prices on your screens right now. And I would say if you can afford the X90J, there's nothing like it because it comes with Sony's Cognitive XR processor. It has full array backlighting with local dimming, and of course it supports a higher peak brightness when compared to the other two, which is great for HDR content consumption. However, the X85J is no slouch because the panel can get pretty bright. It is also great for consuming content in a dark room. Yes, you do get a little bit of blooming here and there, but switch on a tube light and I was really fine with a lot of dark sequences. I was okay because there was a tube light on in the room, which did not hamper my viewing experience. It was just at a particular position where there was enough light in the room to kind of dull the grays on screen away. The X80J is also a great TV if you're just going to watch regular TV and a couple of movies and you're not looking for the absolute cinematic experience, or if you're looking for something at the lower size. So depending on your budget, you are actually getting a pretty good proposition and an upgrade if you go from one model to the next. The one place where it makes the biggest difference is if you're a gamer. Now, if you are going to get a home theater with enhanced audio return channel or EARC, all the 3 TVs support EARC, so you should be covered there. The X80J does not support HDMI 2.1, so you are going to get 4K HDR at 60 Hz from a console like the PS5, with the HDR being at YUV422. Whereas with the X85J and the X90J, what you are getting is HDMI 2.1, sadly only in 2 ports, and the TVs are expected to get VRR support at the end of the year, but they do support 4K at 120 Hz, and both of them support RGB HDR, which does enhance your gaming and visual experience on a PS5 considerably. So yes, if gaming is something that you want and you think that the X90J is a little out of your budget, I would suggest you go for the X85J over the X80J. Now, of course, coming to the build and design, it's almost identical to the X80J. It has these 2 really slim feet that hold it in place. Because this TV is so big, there is a bit of a wobble, but I don't know how many of you go and tap your TV to see if it wobbles or not. And it has really slim bezels all around. All the connectivity options are on one side. You have 4 HDMI ports, 2 USB ports, you have a 3.5mm port as well, and an Ethernet port. You can see all the connectivity options on the image right now. So from a build and design perspective, it is signature Sony of what we've expected. When it comes to the remote control as well, it is the exact same one we got with the X80J and the X90J. It's comfortable to use. It has a traditional candy bar form factor, and it gets the job done because it has OTT hotkeys and the directional buttons all in one place. The playback controls may be a little bit at the bottom, but you can get the job done moving your hand around. It's not unergonomic, so to speak. It's a nice remote control. So, having compared all the 3 models that Sony has in its lineup, the right one for you actually depends on what your use cases are. So if gaming is important to you, I would suggest you look at the 85J or the 90J based on your budget and what screen size you are looking for. But if you don't care about 120 Hz refresh rate and you're okay with YUV422 HDR, which is also pretty good on the X80J, you can go back and check out our review of that TV as well if you haven't. But for the ones that want to take advantage of the next gen consoles, you may want to consider the 85J or the 90J in Sony's lineup of TVs. But for the rest of you, pick one that suits your budget. I'm pretty sure you're going to be happy because all 3 TVs are great and have something really good to offer, and the upgrade from one to the other is also justified if you're planning to get a few more features for the extra cash, or if there's a certain screen size that you're looking for. Yes, in the 65-75 inch screen size at these prices, there are a number of options to choose from LG and Sony as well. And if you have any TV that you're contemplating, you can always let us know in the comment section below, and we will do our best to solve your queries. So there you have it, guys. That was our review of the Sony X85J, the 85-inch variant that we have. But like I said, this TV is available in 55 and 65 inches as well. As always, if you enjoyed this video, do let us know in the comment section below and hit the like button. Also subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you're notified when we upload a new video. We will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.